Hey, Kaz.
Well, hello.
Look at this. We actually managed to hit the live 2 weeks in a row. I think we need like a trophy, a medal, an award. Hey, Lilac.
Hi, Lilac. I know, aren't we good girls?
Oh, we're such good girls. Ah, let's wait a couple minutes, see if people get a notice. How are you doing, Lilac?
Well, there's actually 5 in here, so I wonder who. Oh, we've got 6. Woohoo! We've got 6 in the house.
You know, the last couple of days, well, actually the last week on YouTube, I mean, there are some shady, just weird creators out there. I mean, oh, hey,
Hi, Lana's
Chisme.
made it. Hey, Chiz. It's a long time no speak, darling.
Now, how come I don't see
Um,
Lana? Oh, there she is. Hey, Lana.
she's there. Now you know
The
why,
long,
sweetheart. Why I don't have anything to do with certain channels on YouTube because of the crazies that are out there.
yeah, but it's just like this. It's, I don't know, it's just mind blowing.
Mm.
Just the fact that how the exploitation of these children and autopsy photos and threatening families. And now there's another lady in the community that I guess has like this blog, and the boy that was murdered, or the one that ended up in the mat at the school,
Yeah,
Kendrick or somebody. Well,
yeah, he
one
got
of I guess one of the creators have shown his autopsy photos and has a blog and was literally telling this boy's mother to prove her wrong. I can't anymore. Between that and Zavgirl with Gannon's photos, like I am almost like ashamed to be a
that's
part of the
crazy.
community some days. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
start
glad to see
exploiting
you.
everybody. I'm exploiting
Oh,
you, I'm
please.
exploiting Chisme, I'm exploiting
Yeah, right.
Iconic, I'm exploiting you all.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Lana,
Turning
I'm glad you're back on Eastern time and not on Aussie time. You were confusing me, darling. I thought you'd come over to visit me. Oh,
okay.
golly gosh. Golly, golly, golly.
Ugh. I've been waiting for a while for this one because this is one that I absolutely will never wrap my head around.
Yeah.
Like the Christina Powell.
Oh, well,
Nic-
you'll never get over that one, will you?
well, no, we're going to order the FOIA, but I'm petrified now that if we get our hands on it, like I don't want to see, her sitting in a car after, what was it, 2 weeks? Oh gosh, in Texas.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I would like to see like
I
the
mean,
reports.
reports are fine, but even the DA said he would, in regards to Gannon, he was very surprised, he said, that those autopsy photos were included.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's been done has been done. But I will say, I did watch Zab Girl's supposed apology. And in my opinion, and this is only my opinion, guys, in my opinion, I didn't take what she said to be totally heartfelt. Her body language wasn't gelling with what the words that she was saying. I mean, might be just her. I don't know. I don't know her well enough to be able to categorically say, but it just didn't come across as a heartfelt apology to Gannon's mum and dad. It was more like she was trying to find an excuse to try and gain back the thousands of subscribers that she lost, in my opinion. But,
Yeah. I don't know. She's probably going to end up, the family, I mean, she might even end up getting sued. Like, I don't know.
well, oh, Lama, please, you're still a baby. Old age kicking in. Ha ha.
Okay, so for
Too funny.
people that do not know this actual story, I want to go over the timeline
Okay.
because the timeline is what I can't wrap my head around. I mean, it's mind blowing. Let me show a picture real quick. So some people may not, didn't follow this story. Me, woo, I was knee deep.
Yeah,
All right, let me open up.
that's why I liked reading the actual transcript, because it's got an even more in-depth timeline than what we ever did have prior.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to go over that, but I just want to go over the timeline again of how quickly she supposedly fell in a river. 1 second, guys. We're new at this.
Yeah, we're newbies.
Okay.
Come on, get your act together, woman.
Nicola
Hi, sweet
Bulley.
Melissa. How are you, darling?
We are speaking. Hey, sweet Melissa. We are speaking of Nicola. Nicola. Kaz always gives me a hard time.
Just say Nikki. Just say Nikki, babe.
Nikki.
Yeah.
Over in the Wire River, Lancashire, England. 45 years old. Had the partner Paul and the two girls. And she went on the walk with Willow. And let me just explain this timeline to you. At 8:26, Nikki left her house with her girls and dropped them off at the school, which is right next to where she was going to take Willow for a walk. At 8:43, she took her spaniel Willow on the walk along the path at the river on Wire. 8:50, a dog walker who knew her saw her and their pets interacted briefly before they parted ways. 8:53, Nikki sent an email to her boss, followed by a message to her friends 6 minutes later. And that was the message where she was supposedly setting up a play date with the kids. 9:01, she logs on to the work Microsoft team call. 9:10, last known sighting of Miss Bulley by a second witness. At 9:20, Her phone was back in the area of the bench before the team call ended 10 minutes later, but her mobile remaining logged on after the call. 9:33, another dog walker. 10 minutes later, guys, after she was last spotted, found her phone on a bench beside the river with her dog darting between the river and the bench. Now that changed. Before it was between the bench and the gate. At 10:50, Nikki's family and the school attended by her children were told about her disappearance, and police are called, and she is deemed a high risk of missing person. Everyone shows up and searches the river. Peter Falding comes with a sonar, looks up and down the river, and she's found. What was it, Kaz? A month later? 6 weeks later?
No, 2 weeks, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2 weeks later, she's found a mile away from the bench, up in the reeds, in the river, by a psychic guy that was mad because the family didn't ask him for his services in finding her. So they're saying, hey, Jess, that this 45-year-old woman fell into a river at where she was probably not even deeper than her ankles. She falls in the river. She ends up a mile from the bench. No one sees her while they have the helicopter searching, the people walking the river like an hour after she's gone. And then we find her a couple of weeks later up in the reeds. And they're claiming that she accidentally fell in the river and drowned. So you want to pull up the inquest, babe? In a matter of 10 minutes, guys. I mean, we're talking in a okay, but here's the craziest part, not the best part. And her phone was sitting on the bench, faced up, and the dog's harness was between the bench and the river. So she just went and fell in the river without her phone. I mean, it's. I pray her family.
Yeah, they say a little bit different in the coroner's inquest report. They do say a few things different. Hey, Jessaroo, how are you, my darling?
Yeah, I know, but the fact is, yeah, we're gonna read it. But the fact that they are saying that she literally fell into a river that was not even knee high deep, and she drowned, and then she floated down the river. And they found her up in the reeds out of the river.
Okay, so this is the full transcript, guys, from the inquest. I don't know if you've all seen it or not, but
I doubt they've seen it.
I just go up to the top because I was just scrolling through it.
Hey, a little bit. Oh, look at, is that cat's meow? Hey, a little bit of me. And she was a very strong swimmer. Yep, she sure was. I mean, I can understand falling in the water.
They go through that. That part.
But it was not even a foot of water.
I'll go through that bit and I'll adjust that. Yeah, I know, but they do go through that, and we'll get to that bit. All right. Oh, I'm still not at the top. I thought it was. Here we go. Dr. James Adderley, Senior Coroner for Lancashire, delivered a conclusion of accidental death after listening to 2 days of evidence. The coroner concluded there was no third-party involvement and no evidence to support suicidal intention, leaving a tragic accident as the only possible explanation. Mortgage advisor Nicola, 45, had taken dog Willow for a walk after dropping her daughters at school on the morning of January 27th. She was last seen alive at 9:10 a.m. by fellow dog walker Claire Chisholm. 8 minutes later, she turned. Hang on. 8 minutes later, she turned up the volume. They even know this much. 8 minutes later, she turned up the volume on a mobile phone, which was connected on a Microsoft Teams call. At some point within the next few minutes, she placed the phone on a bench at the side of the river wire and placed Willow's harness on the floor. Her partner, Paul Ansell, told the inquest the harness was removed when passing through the gate to stop it getting caught on any bushes, as the dog is erratic. He speculated that Nicola may have placed the phone down on the bench to allow her to attempt to put the harness back onto Willow. So that's what he's trying to explain, why she had put a phone on the bench.
So she's putting her, and we're going to go have a look at the area.
The exact reason.
Hang on, Kaz. Yeah, after Kaz reads this, we're going to go have a look at the area. Yeah, exactly what Lilac said, what I've been saying. What did she do? Roll down and land in the river? There's no rocks. I mean, this is... I can't. Go ahead, Kaz. Let me mic down. I'm going to bite my tongue off.
Don't do that. Dr. Adley said the exact reason Nikki entered the water cannot be determined, but he noted evidence which outlined the difficult nature of the area where she did so. This included an almost vertical drop and a base where a stone wall had been built to prevent further erosion, but had no footholds or handholds. As such, falling here would lead to entering the water, he said. Concluding the inquest into her passing at County Hall, Preston, he expressed his condolences to the family who were present throughout the hearing. He recorded her death as accidental, as she fell into the river and suffered cold water shock, ruling out suicide. He said, excluding a couple of comments over the Christmas period where she was acting out of character and were treated as throwaway comments, there was no indication of any intention to take her own life. Now, this is where they're going to explain why they think they came to the conclusion of it was she passed due to drowning. And it does explain a lot of things, and it answered a lot of questions that I had. And it may answer some of yours as well. As set out in the opening in my inquest, an inquest is a fact-finding investigation that attempts to answer 4 questions: of who has died, where and when the death occurred, and by what means a person died. This inquest is not dealing with the police operational response, which is the subject of a separate investigation, which we all know there was one going on about how the police handled the investigation. It goes on to say that Nikki was identified by her dental records, and it did confirm on the 19th February 2023 that it was Nicola Jane Bulley who was found. Okay. Now going on to, this is the actual movements. On January 27th, 2023, Nikki left the house to take her children to school with a Springer Spaniel.
Hang on.
In the boot, just after 8:30 a.m.,
Kaz, hang on. Yeah? Hang on. Slow down. So she must have been in really bad condition if they had to use her dental records. After 2 weeks of being in the cold water?
Yes.
I don't think this is so weird. Yeah. No, I don't buy it. Go ahead.
Well, Remember what they had to do though for Kylie Rodney, darling. They had to identify her via dental records too. It's
Yeah,
the
I get
standard
that, but
procedure to because the
yeah, continue to read it. But Kylie was missing, and no one knew where she went. Everyone knew the area that this woman went missing in. They had helicopters within the hour, search teams walking the banks of the river all the way out to the sea, and they
yeah,
don't see her.
I know that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is the one question that's not been answered for me. I wonder why she was never located while they're walking. I want to know that. That was never answered in this.
Hey, see you for
Um,
a chat. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, that it's bizarre.
okay. Yeah. At 8:30 a.m., Kay Kerriman spoke to Nikki in the school car park and discussed the dogs for several minutes. Nikki then walked up Garstang Road and turned right onto the path, which joins up with the path coming in from Allotment Lane, and then proceeded to walk in a clockwise direction around the outside of the two fields on her usual two laps. Nikki was last seen by Claire Chesham, a fellow dog walker, at approximately 9:10 a.m. on the second circuit of the field at a point farthest from the bench where Willow was later found. At 9:18 a.m., Nikki adjusted the volume on her phone, presumably in respect of the work Teams call she had joined just after 9 a.m. Dr. Keith Greenhall interpreted the Fitbit Versa 4 watch Nikki was wearing on the 23rd. My mouth's not working. On the 27th of January 2023. Dr. Greenhall explained that Nikki's Fitbit recorded steps in 15-minute segments. On January 27th, between 8 a.m. and 9:30 a.m., Nikki's Fitbit recorded 4,548 steps. Between 9:15 a.m. and 9:30 a.m., Nikki's step count was 273 steps, a substantial reduction from the previous hour and 15 minutes where she averaged 855 steps for each 15-minute period. There was no further steps recorded on the watch after 9:30 a.m. Now that I know a lot about Fitbits because I wear one, and even if you're not walking, if you're sitting down and talking and you're using your arm in any way, or if you're being, say, if you're being carried by somebody and your arm's moving, it will record it as a step. So if
Okay, so
somebody had
what
taken,
time? The Fitbit time sounds like it coincides with the time that she was on the meeting with the hands out in front of her from that one camera. But Lilac, the one camera that would have seen her at the bench area, it was just mysteriously not working that day.
yeah,
The only camera that was working that day, I'll show you guys when we go to the map afterwards and we go down and see how she fell into this river. And I, I mean, 45 years old, you fall. I mean, if I would have been walking my dog and I fell and rolled in the river, I would have probably just gotten up and got out. But let me read this. Keith Barlow seen Nikki leave with two MIB and a woman heading to the locked gate. One of those three could have had a key because they were not seen on CCTV. Rebecca said it couldn't have happened. Anyone have could have tampered with those CCTVs? Every CCTV camera that would have seen Nikki was not working exactly. Yep.
yeah,
The only camera that was
yeah,
working,
true.
well, the camera at the, it's funny because the camera at the park, that the caravan park was the one that was not working. Or, and something with the olive bar. But the one that was working was in the upper field where it saw her on the team meeting with the phone out in front of her.
Yeah,
All right, go ahead, babe.
but I'm is really interesting, and what you really need to take in is this Fitbit, because her heart rate, a Fitbit registers your beats per minute, your heart rate, and your steps and your oxygen levels. That's what your Fitbit registers. I don't know if anybody wears one or a smartwatch that does this. So this is all the data that they're getting from this. So if all this data stopped at 9:33, everything stopped. A heartbeat stopped, the steps stopped. Now people said, oh, well, they could have taken the Fitbit off. Yes, if you take your Fitbit off, it will stop the heartbeat and it'll stop the oxygen, but it won't stop this. If it stops the steps, it automatically registers that the watch has been taken off. Do you get my drift, Ma?
Yeah, like you're saying, if she took it off and she was walking, it still would have been moving.
Yeah, if she took it off and put it in the pocket, it will still be registering steps, but it won't be registering her heartbeat, or it won't be
the
registering
oxygen.
the oxygen, but it will still be registering
Okay,
steps.
so what time does it say that everything stopped right there?
9:33.
9:33. Hang on one
Yeah.
second. Let me see something.
And there was a spike in the heart rate.
But at 9:30, so listen. So at exactly 9:33 on the timeline, it says another dog walker found her phone. So the second that the dog walker found her phone, you're telling me that she just happened to fall into the river.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. At 9:22, Nikki's. Hang on, sorry, darling. At 9:22, Nikki's watch recorded a significant spike in heart rate of the data series.
Okay.
Yeah, between 9:22 and 9:30. Yeah.
Okay. So listen to this. At 9:10 a.m. 9:10 a.m. was the last known sighting where somebody actually saw her. At 9:20, her phone was back on the bench. So from 9:10 to the time that you're saying from the dog walker coming up to that bench, exactly 13 minutes later, she has completely fallen into that Wire River right in front of the bench, and she's just dead, and she's floating up in the river face first, whatever, her big puffy jacket on, and nobody sees her.
Yeah, they do
Nobody sees her.
Go into that into this as well, Sweater.
I'm just saying, it can say what it says. I get that. But when you have Paul Ansel at the scene 30 minutes later looking for her, you have the police walking the river banks, and I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you not see her? There was a freaking helicopter. There were drones. How do you not see her floating in the river with that big blue coat on?
I agree.
Oh, I know, but I'm getting
I agree with
guys.
you,
let me mic down before I start punching air. Let me go get my fly swatter and see if I can find a fly. I'm only kidding. Okay. 13 minutes. From 13 minutes
now,
from somebody saw her. And listen to this. I can't. There's something so fishy about this.
All right. Take a deep breath while I just read this bit. PC Matthew Thackeray is a Lancashire constabulary diver who was part of the underwater search team diving the River Wire on 27th of January, the day she went missing. Also provided video footage of the river and its banks on a later date. PC Thackeray described the area around the bench as a relatively steep grass slope from the bench that, as it approached the river, became an almost vertical drop of approximately a meter.
Oh, stop with that vertical drop. Oh my gosh,
I'm just reading.
You know what? I'll be back. I'm listening, but I'm gonna go punch the air. I can't wait to show the pictures for the ones that have not actually seen. I mean, my mother could be walking a dog and fall down and roll into the river. Yes, Jessica, in front of that bench, the river is not even probably what, between your ankle and your knee? 2
Yeah, they
feet,
actually
maybe
give the
a foot.
dimensions of how deep the water is. Yeah,
Oh, let me write down. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, this is crazy.
yeah. Wait. PC Thackeray said that if you fell at the top of the steep section, you would certainly enter the water. PC Thackeray described the opposite bank, which at this point is approximately 20 meters away, also at being a different site to climb out of. PC Thackeray provided a video review of the river down beyond that weir, which is approximately 30 meters downstream of the bench. Both before and after the weir, the water accelerates. Okay, now, on January 27th, 2023, the Environmental Agency provided data that the flow of water over the weir was only 0.49 meters. So
Okay,
there is
okay. Hang on. I'm going to
3.3
do that. Hang on. 0.49 meters is what in feet?
of a meter.
It is 1 foot and 6 inches. Oh yeah. I mean, I'm surprised. I mean, that's a
That's
wild,
going over
rapid.
the weir. That's going over the concrete weir.
That's a river
All right,
wire
that's going over
wild
the weir.
ride. Wild. It's just
Okay,
gushing
this
through
height
there.
of water is, but it gets better, darling. This height of water is almost double that of the day when PC Thackeray made his video diary of the river, when he found that 20 to 30 centimeters, which is about a foot of water, was sufficient to carry him over the weir
Oh, stop.
with increased buoyancy. Because that's the video that we actually saw him going over in April this year. He did a video because the coroner asked him to go and do another assessment of the river wire, and he actually floated himself in just under a foot of water. He was floated over the concrete weir. PC Thackeray said on January 27th the river was approximately half a meter higher than in the video
Ooh.
shown, and the water was 3.6 degrees Celsius.
1 second, Kaz.
So,
Beep.
oh God.
You guys have to remember something also. Her partner, Paul Ansell, with his finances, and it just happened to be, if you go back and watch the videos, that just before she went missing, the partnership with her, that he was owing money on that one
Oh, yeah.
company. But because of her death, he has an extension on the company where she was actually a partner with him. And this was the third one that he tried to
Mm,
get off and get going. It's I
mm.
don't buy this one. This one has me as mad as Christina Powell, and we will be getting her case file.
So, what's
All right.
3.6 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit, doll?
3 point what?
3.6 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit.
It is. Come on, it's 38 degrees. Stop that.
Oh, well, I'm just telling you what he's saying.
No,
All right.
I know, but I'm saying to the guy that's writing the article, it's 38 degrees. Stop that. Okay,
All
let me
right.
mic down. Go ahead, babe.
The depths of the
We're
river wire.
back.
Oh, hush.
Welcome to it's more like the jungle. Okay, here we go.
The depth of the river wire at the point below the bench on the day in question, in other words, the 27th of January, was approximately 4.6 meters deep. So that's quite deep, Ma. Downstream at this point, the river depth remained too deep to touch the bottom, at least It says 40 meters, but I don't believe that. I think it means 4 meters. PC Thackeray
Wait,
estimated on January 27th.
that's 15 feet. So you're trying to tell me that in front of that bench when she fell in that water, it was 15 feet? That is complete bullshit.
Yes,
Because
it
when the
was.
people went out there and went in there, that water was just over the ankles. Hey, Jennifer. 15
Well,
feet deep.
he must be talking at the deepest part, Ma. He must be talking at the deepest
Well,
part.
we know he's talking about the deepest part because we have Googled every geographic deep depth of the river, how fast it flows, where it flows, how cold it gets, how long it takes a bird to float from the bench to the ocean. Like, yeah, 15 feet at its deepest point.
Deepest point. Yeah.
Hey,
That's
Purple
what they
Fade.
should have put there.
Don't mind us,
PC
guys.
Thackeray
Kaz and I are a little dysfunctional. You'll get used to us.
Speak for yourself, woman. PC Thackeray estimated on January 27th it would have taken approximately 2 to 3 minutes for someone in the water to drift downstream over the weir as a body in the water moves more slowly than water itself. So they're saying from the bench to over the weir would only have taken 2 to 3 minutes. All right. Now, this is where the cold water immersion part comes in. Professor Mike Tipton is a professor of human and applied physiology, and Dr. Paddy Morgan is a consultant anesthetic. That one. Both are world-class experts in the study of the effects of extreme environments on the human body. As their evidence was intertwined, I do not propose to separate the individual experts' evidence. They explained that when a person is suddenly immersed in cold water, receptors just under the surface of the skin trigger a reflex that results in a substantial release of adrenaline. Rapid gasping of 1 to 3 breaths, followed by uncontrolled ventilation and a rapid elevation of heart rate and blood pressure, which collectively is termed cold water shock. The water temperature of 3.6
Okay,
degrees
1 second,
Celsius.
Kaz. 1 second. Cold water death, right? Temperatures of 32.5 degrees may occur in under 15 minutes to 45 minutes at a water temperature of 32.5 to 40.
No, cold water shock.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading. And it could take 30 to 90 minutes. Huh. Yeah, it could be lethal in minutes.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. It's saying it would.
So not one dog walker. No one saw her. Not all the dog walkers out there passing her by, and the man with the dog that stopped and talked with her. Nobody saw her. That just fell into the river right there on the dog path.
Yeah.
You cannot make this one up.
Professor Tipton and Dr. Morgan explained that the response is not related to either body size or composition, but it's related to the rapid cooling of the skin. The type of clothing Nikki was wearing for a dog walk would not have slowed her response to the cold water shock. Professor Tipton and Dr. Morgan went on to explain that cold water shock causes the release of sufficient adrenaline that may, in some instances, cause the heart of the immersed person to stop immediately, resulting in a sudden loss of consciousness and drowning within seconds of immersion. If this does not occur, Kaz. There is an
No, go ahead. So on your Fitbit, if she had this and her heart rate excelled, I mean, why is the Fitbit not showing this before it stopped working?
Well,
or
that's
wouldn't
what
that
they're
have
saying.
shown?
There was a spike. Yeah, they did say at 9:20 odd, there was a sudden spike in her heart rate, which is the adrenaline hitting.
Okay, I
Adrenaline
missed that
causes your
part.
heart to spike. Yeah. In some instances, cause heart top, the most persons stop immediately, resulting in a sudden loss of consciousness and drowning within seconds. So that's when it stopped working, this sudden spike. So she could have passed quite, right away, or went unconscious right away.
But if you fall in,
But
but if you fall into
Fitbits,
water, but Kaz, if you fall into water that's only 2 feet deep, and you don't even get your body completely drenched because you're not falling like into a deep, ocean, like where the Titan decided to go. How are you like if you, and your whole entire body's not getting wet? How are you going into cold water shock? I mean,
okay,
she's 45 years
well,
old and a
this is
strong
what
swimmer.
it doesn't matter if she fell head first, which is what they say in the next paragraph.
So
It
she has a
only
bruise on
takes
her head.
10 seconds.
Go
If she
ahead.
goes in head first, yeah, it only takes 10 seconds. If
To
Nikki's
maybe
head
be
was on,
completely submersed, but to be like,
no, 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 it doesn't have to be completely submersed. If Nikki's head was underwater when she took her first gasp, if she wasn't totally knocked out, she would have inhaled 2 liters of water, which for a person of Nikki's size would have been a lethal dose due to the water in the lungs preventing the exchange of oxygen and damage to the lung itself.
yeah, I get that, but she would have
Dr.
had to have fallen like face first and slid down that hill into the water. Like it just doesn't add up for somebody that is 45, healthy. It's so, what I call BS on this one.
Well, why I'm taking what the Fitbit says as pretty much accurate data is because the Fitbit is waterproof, Mark. So if she fell in and was still conscious and still okay and was fine in the swimming, the Fitbit would still be working. Because that's why I've got a Fitbit, because I can wear it in the shower.
So she had to have hit her head. I mean, she just didn't just roll in into the,
Yeah.
So she's putting the dog's harness on and she just
She could have
slips
lost
in,
it. I mean, if what
and
Paul Ansell said
nobody
is
saw
right, that,
this.
well, yeah.
And she just completely floated down. Okay, we'll show the area after you read this because this is so bizarre.
Yeah.
This is as bizarre as a woman sitting in a parking lot in her car like a hot woman soup, excuse me, trigger warning, for two
Yeah.
weeks in
Yeah.
the passenger side.
Yeah. I agree. And it's the same as Kylie Rodney, darling. Supposed allegedly driving herself and putting herself in a lake from a back seat.
I don't
Um,
believe she I don't think she was there, but she had to. I mean, with the time of the Fitbit stopping, I mean, it
mm,
adds up, but it's 13 minutes from the time that somebody literally saw her to the time that her Fitbit stopped. 13 minutes with people walking their dogs.
yeah, yeah. It says even if Nikki's first breath was above the water, if she then became submerged, the increased heart rate, blood pressure, and struggling to keep her head above water would have used oxygen within her body at such a rate that she would have
And
lost consciousness within a maximum of 48 seconds.
okay, well, how are you not keeping your head above water in 2 feet of water? Like, what in the. That's why she had to have been unconscious when she went
Yeah,
into that water.
drought,
I mean,
yeah, yeah.
if I'm going to
However,
believe it, if I
yeah,
was to have to believe it, and I knew for a fact that that's what happened, she would to have had up to somehow have hit her head on something or
yeah.
twisted her.
Because
I
there
don't
were
know.
stones down the bottom where that stone wall was, so the possibilities there. She lost her footing and it does have a downward slope. So if you've got a momentum going down, you can't stop yourself when your momentum's going down.
I
You've
don't
got no
know.
grip on your shoes.
Yeah, well, we're not talking like we're going down Mount Everest. We're going down like, I mean, it's just so. We'll have a look at it when you're done. Go ahead, wrap. You do finish the video. I'm gonna let you finish it. I'm not gonna talk to. I'm gonna try not to talk. Okay.
Okay. PC Thackeray said that he had attending drownings in canals where if the person had simply stood up, they would have survived. But such was the shock of immersion, a person did not take the simple step of standing up and instead drowned. There you go, Mark. Consequently, whether or not Nikki's first breath was above
But
or
did you
below the
hear
water.
that? That was a giveaway.
Yep.
So she's admitting that that part right there that she didn't just hush. We're gonna start camming up too, guys, on our lives. I'm just trying to get everything situated. But I forgot what I was gonna say. Okay, so she's in 2 feet of water and she falls in and she can't stand up. That's what it has to be. That maybe somebody knocked her over the head.
Oh. Well, she did have. If you remember in the initial coroner's report, it did say she had a gash to the top of her head, forehead. So she did hit her head.
I get that. Let's even if it was an. Of course, I'm going to go with what the coroner said, and it was an accident. But you can't get past the part that people were there within 30 minutes looking for her, and she wasn't found.
Yeah, I agree. I
Hey,
totally agree with you,
Queen
darling.
Mick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so floating down the river and ending up, I'm going to show you the picture of the kid pointing to her when she's in the reeds. She's like, it's to me, it
Yeah.
seems like somebody was driving down Radcliffe. They opened up the door. They put her over this. You know what, Kaz? That stone
What?
wall. The stone wall that wraps around the area they found her. What if she hit her head there?
Possible. You don't know where she hit her head. But
Rolling her
this
out of the
next
car.
paragraph, I think, really, I'm glad they put this next paragraph in because it really sticks it up those people, especially the coppers that put out that thing about her supposed alcohol problem. And I'm glad this is in there
And
because it
her
states,
premenstrual. Her
Doctor,
premenstrual. No, not premenstrual. What was she having?
yeah,
She was having early
um,
menopause.
premenopausal or
Yeah.
something or
Premenopause.
premenopause or something. Yeah. But
And
this
then
paragraph,
Paul
I'm glad. Yeah.
said that she was
But this
drinking.
is
And
not.
remember,
Yeah.
well, they did have that incident, Kaz. Are you doing what are you
Yes.
doing tonight? Kaz is all wired tonight, guys. But they also had that incident in December when the cops showed up because there was a little domestic dispute.
Yes. All right. Dr. Amor explained that Nikki suffered from no natural disease that caused or contributed to her demise. Dr. Amor also reviewed the toxicology that showed that Nikki had therapeutic levels of paracetamol in her bloodstream.
Wait, what is that? Paracetamol?
Paracetamol, just Panadol, headache tablets. That's all.
Okay.
Paracetamol. Dr. Amor also stated that at the time Nikki entered the water, she had no alcohol in her bloodstream.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, as I think everybody's aware, that once we pass, the body automatically creates ethanol as our body starts breaking down. So there was some ethanol, but that was due to decomposition. But there was no actual alcohol in the bloodstream. Dr. Amor, from her findings at post-mortem, concluded that the cause of death was due to drowning, due to the water in the lungs.
So she had
So
water in
she
her
definitely had
lungs.
water in her lungs.
So she definitely didn't.
Yeah.
So if she had water in her lungs, she must have somehow, she had a gash on her head. She must have somehow hit
Yeah.
her head, but this did not happen in front of the bench. Because if it happened in front of the bench, we know for a fact there's no concrete wall there. Because we're going to go right to the area of new pictures that were taken with Nikki's pictures and the ribbons on the bench.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to take you
And they
guys
put
down
in
Radcliffe. God, Kaz, you're so rude tonight. Let me mic down before she punches me.
It's so I could do that, darling. I am not a violent at all.
So we know the
Unless you
story.
cross my family or my dear friends.
Or stinky butt.
Or stinky butt. Yeah, don't touch my stinky butt. And for those who are wondering who my stinky butt is, that's my baby, my furry baby. Mm.
Something's just...
And there is a thing in... Oh, see, you're interrupting me, woman.
Something's not right with this.
There is a section in here...
Oh, shit.
Oh, I've got to go to the little girl's room.
All right.
I'll be back.
I'm going to pull up the map real fast and show. And then you can... Are you done with the article?
Yeah.
All right. Let me think of where I can put this to. You know what? Let me... 1 second. Let me go to my history. One sec, guys. Okay. Here's the upper field where the last person saw her. The camera was sitting right about here somewhere. Picture up with the phone in front of her face. The meeting's going on. The bench is, I think it's right there. I think that little dot's the bench. And she fell in the wire river. Here is the wire. I mean, that's a pretty big distance from the bench, unless she was like, because the bench is right there, you can see it. Unless she was like, and her phone was on the bench. She was found. Hang on 1 second. She was found right here, right about here. So if we go down here to Rockcliffe, She was found down over this ledge. And this is the wall that the psychic was sitting on when the ghoul was walking by that found Nicola. And remember, guys, she was up in the reeds. Let me see. Yeah, this is May 2022. So here's where she's found. And it's right like, let me just go a little further and turn it around and show you. The kid was sitting right here, the psychic, when they found her. And I believe it was like right around here. She could have been up in those reeds. I don't know. This is 2022, a year ago. How did she get there, Kaz, and nobody saw her?
I don't know, but just shows you don't pay attention to your screen, Ma. Oscar
What's
was
going on?
waving at you and you didn't even say hello.
Oh, no, I can't see it when I'm moving the maps around. I can't see StreamYards. My little stinky
Oh,
butt.
thanks. Yeah, it was somewhere around there. It was.
Oh, she was found right here. I'm going to show you the picture of the kid pointing her out. She was found at the first bend. She was found right about here.
Yeah.
And let me show you the picture of the kid pointing to her in the reeds. Huh. So are you guys ready for the Isha business trial? Oh my gosh, that girl's crazy. Oh, what a story that is. Okay, so where is the picture? Well, here's one picture right in front of the bench. Let me show you guys how deep this water is in front of the bench real quick.
Yeah, Lana, I love Frenchies, but oh my God, have they had work?
That's how deep the water is. About the area where she fell in. And this team came to the area where she fell in to show you. They do like swimming stuff in the river wire. He teaches like, I don't know what he does. They swim in there. But look at that. She had to have hit her head and went in unconscious, in my opinion, because she was a strong swimmer. Here we go. This is so ridiculous. So here is the psychic pointing to the police where Nicola was found. There's the wall on the road that we just went by. And at that bend, that's the only little bush area. And look at where he's pointing. So she was, I mean, when you're in the water that long, I guess the gases you would float, but how do you get up in the reeds like that?
It's the $90 million question, sweetheart. I mean, I understand that she would have gotten over the weir even in a foot of water. Totally understand that. Your body is buoyant. But what happened once she went over the weir? Where did she go? Because, like you said, everybody was out there looking for her.
Yeah.
I mean, did she get detangled in the grasses and they were a bit slack looking? I don't know.
So how would she have continued to move a mile from the bench, though?
I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I keep referring back to Kylie. I mean, look at the police divers that went looking around where Kylie's car was eventually found. And they said they searched that area. And the car was there anyway. But they didn't search properly. I mean, is that the case? You know, that they were slack?
That's a car, though, under 13 feet of water. This is a body floating down a river.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, did it get the flow of the water? You know, did you get in between the reeds? on one side and they didn't bother to look on that side, thinking she would be kept in the
Got-
midstream. I don't know. I
This is
really
the
don't know.
search within a half an hour after she went missing. There were people walking, there were helicopters, there were drones, there were dogs. I mean, you name it, it was there. We're talking
Mm.
13 minutes after the last person saw her, her Fitbit stopped, and she was not found for 2 weeks, and everybody was looking for her.
Yeah.
And there's the
I don't
bench,
have a.
and
Mm,
and that's where the phone was found.
yeah.
Now I can see where she could have been putting on Willow's harness and actually lost her footing and went down that little hill. But to for her for I couldn't imagine me falling down that hill and me dying. Like I just it's so bizarre. But I guess freaks
Mm,
accidents happen, right?
they do. I mean, people have drowned in 2 inches of water. Babies have drowned in 2 inches of water. You know, toddlers. That's why they say don't leave your babies in the bath.
Okay, we're going to look at one more picture and then we're going to wrap it up. And let's not forget, guys, let's say that she was under the water and then she happened just to float back up and jump up into the reeds. Peter Falding scoured that river with underwater sonar with equipment like Adventures with Purpose uses. Like, he's the best at
Mm.
what he does. And they totally discounted him because he could not even find her.
Yeah, but he was also focusing on the middle, the actual middle and the sides. But he wasn't looking in the reeds either, though. Nobody
But if
was.
you're
Nobody was really looking in the reeds. They were all, as one would
but
expect,
But if you're
to
floating, but
look
if you
in
have
the
dogs and
river.
helicopters and drones, how are you not going to see a woman floating and a body in
That's
the
what I'm,
freaking river?
that's what I'm saying, sweetheart. One would think she would be floating down the river. You wouldn't expect her to get caught up in the reeds. And I think
And
that was the
they knew she
downfall.
went that way. They knew she went that way. They knew that her body was flowing that way to the river, and they honestly were going to try to tell us if they didn't find her that she was in the sea and she was gone forever.
Yeah, yeah.
But so if the point that they figure let me go back to maps real quick, guys, and then we're going to wrap it up. But if you guys know that she is in the river, because the police were telling you, Sally said it over and over again, she has fallen into the river. Okay, well, if we know she fell in the river and we know the river is moving towards the sea, and I'm going to show you guys, and we're looking in that area for her, and within 35 minutes after she's gone, and we're not going to see her. What are we missing?
Don't know. I really don't know,
Okay,
girl.
I'm just going to zoom out and show you guys the distance of where water starts to sea. So right about here is where the, the upper field is right there. Okay. So you can still see it. And all the way out here is where they figured that when they first couldn't find her, they were searching this with the little boats looking for her. So if you knew she was heading in that direction because they knew she fell in the river, everyone just missed her. The drones, the helicopters, the dogs, the police, the 20 people walking hand in hand, side by side. You know what I'm talking about, Kaz, the big search.
Yeah,
And no one saw
yeah.
her.
Stranger
What?
things have happened. What's that old saying? Hiding in plain sight? being in plain sight.
But so,
Everything's under
but there were
your
so
nose and you
many
can't see it.
people.
It's right there under your nose and you can't see it.
But there were so many people and people from the
Mm.
internet that went out there and they were illegally searching the properties. And I mean, let's not forget about the creepy dude that owns the house right across the river. That
Oh,
just
across the
happened to
road, yeah.
Yeah, let me go back to that house real fast and show them, and then we're going to wrap it up. Remember, there was an abandoned property that was right across the street, and the guy just happened to be there that day. And let me show you how close this property is to the bench.
It's right
It's a little
across the river.
freaky. Oh, I just thought I saw a spider, guys. It's a moth. Oh my gosh, I thought I was going to have to scream. Okay, so okay, you can see the bench. It's that little speck right there. Okay. So this is the house right here.
Hang on, don't come up yet. Hang on.
And it's off of that one
Okay.
road. Yeah. And it's on the road that she would have traveled taking her kids to the school, which is Hall Lane. So on Hall Lane, when she comes to drive from her house, because I've already Google mapped how she got here, she would come down Hall Lane. She pulled into this parking lot, parked her car, dropped her kids off at the primary school. She continued down Hall. She went down, I forget the name of this road, Garstang. She crossed over the bridge. She got on the path. She walked down the path. And right at this building, right here is where she ran into the guy where the dogs had the exchange. Right here. Now here, we don't know if she walks this way or if she walks this way, but right there, right here, she's seen on the phone with the phone in front of her from a camera that sits right there. Here's the mobile park with that weird Penny owns that hates dog. That camera was not working. The bench is right there, and she was found right there, like right about here.
Yeah.
So measure distance. I mean, come on, 1.61 kilometers. I mean, that's it's so bizarre.
It's not far. It's not far.
So that is what they actually decided on Nicola, and I'm not buying it, and I pray to God their family hires a private investigator. And I wonder if she was cremated. I know she was buried at the cemetery in the wire, but I wonder if the ashes were put at the cemetery.
No, I don't think she was cremated. She was actually physically buried. Cremation's not a huge thing in the UK.
Yeah, probably not. Guys, if you haven't watched my videos, go into my Nicola folder and check out the part 1 and part 2 interview with Paul. It's all cut out just to him. And watch his nervousness, like the rubbing his nose, the rubbing his leg, and something's just not right.
See you for a chat. 1, 2, 3.
But then again, you can't imagine that somebody grabbed her and drowned her in the river in a 13-minute time period. You would think that she would scream and somebody would have seen it.
Yeah.
But if she did hit her head, I mean, where's the rock or whatever that she hit her head and she had to have blood or something that she hit her head on? Like, because there's no way she hit her head, hit the water, and then hit a rock. The water's not deep enough, and there's no rocks there. I mean, it's a singing.
Yeah, there are the stones. Yeah, the stones down the bottom. There's a rock wall for erosion purposes all around it.
Yeah, I get that, but you would have to like totally be rolling completely slow and then stop right at that edge. No way. If you're rolling down that, you're going to miss that and go into the water. I am not buying any of it, and I pray her sister Caroline gets a private investigator. I think it's too weird or a coincidence with Paul Ansell's finances. We knew when he
Yeah,
was
well,
owing that money. Oh yeah. And right after he was going to owe, just before that money was owed, she disappears and he got a an extension on owing that money for his mechanic and airplane mechanic, and he's like a handyman in one.
yeah,
I don't know,
yeah,
guys. I just this one just bothered me. But that's the ending they gave us, and I guess we're gonna have to go with it.
yeah.
Sad.
It is sad.
I'll tell
It
you
is
what.
very
If a
sad.
couple
Too
of
good.
Yep, and if in a couple of years, if he ends up with Emma, then we know damn well that Emma and Paul got rid of Nicola.
Mm.
I mean, she that could have happened. Jessica was talking about what if somebody came up and chloroformed her, but there were so many people out walking their dogs.
Yeah, but if she was chloroform, darling, that the chloroform would have been in the tissues in her nose and in her back of her lungs. It would have shown up in tox.
I mean, what if she was just hit in the head to knock her unconscious, and then she was, taken down where she was found up in the reeds, and I'm totally telling you. And they literally rolled her right over that stone wall, and she landed up in the reeds.
Yeah. But if she was hit in the back of the head, there would have been a contusion in the back of the head.
Well, how do we
So
know?
if
Maybe she was hit in the side of the head. Maybe she was hit in front of the head.
yeah, well,
Maybe Paul
she
was
had a. They said in the coroner's report she had a split
okay.
um,
What if Paul told
in her
her, "Meet me
forehead.
at the back gate. Meet me at the
Mm.
gate that is right behind the bench," where somebody said that Willow was not pacing from the wire to the bench. The first thing that the person said was Willow was pacing from the bench to the fence. Do you remember that first report? The dog was
Yeah,
found.
yeah, yeah.
So we all know there's a fence. We're gonna go ahead. One more picture, Kaz. I just want to show them the fence right behind
No,
the
you're right,
bench.
sweetheart. No, of course not.
Well, I know that we turned
I,
into a pumpkin after an hour, but I have one picture and I have a really big file on her. But here it is. So
yeah,
let me show you
Lola,
guys.
that was one.
Go
Like
ahead, babe.
that's one thing I always, while Mars pulling that up, that's one thing I always wondered because the police said there was no scuffle marks or skid marks on the ground on that embankment. That's why
Her
they
father
never wrote that in off.
and her father said that.
Mm.
Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. This is the bench where, and I mean, it definitely is a little bit of a drop, but do you see what I'm talking about? If she rolled off this, she would not hit she wouldn't fall directly down because of the slant. It's like a 45-degree angle. She wouldn't have hit the stone. She would have hit the water. But you see this fence right here. What
Yeah,
if, what if Paul told her, because you can see somebody walking right there, so you can definitely get back into this fence. So what if Paul was like, whatever, blah, 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 because we know Paul worked from home, but Paul's excuse was, oh, I can prove I was home because we have surveillance cameras. Okay. But what if Paul just said, I'm saying, and you guys know I'm not a conspiracy theorist and I don't think of things that don't make sense, but her just falling in the river and dying and floating and nobody seeing her, to me does not make sense. What if Paul said, meet me at the back gate, whatever? He took her out here somewhere, and he took her to the area where she was found and brought Willow back and put Willow in this gate. Because the first initial thing is that Willow was pacing right here, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Why would Willow have been pacing at the gate, guys? Willow loves her mother. Why was Willow not running next to Nicola, just floating down the river? We're talking about an Irish Springer who absolutely loves the water. And a dog doesn't know the
Mm.
winner, and a dog would not stop at any chance of not jumping in and seeing what happens to the mother. And let me tell you another thing that her sister said. When they found Willow, what was Willow, Kaz?
What do you mean? What was Willow? She
What
was
was her
dry as a
condition?
bone.
Dry as a bone. So you're telling
Yeah.
me, let's go look at one more picture of Willow. I'm going to show you something real fast. I love the picture of the guy scuba diving in the river looking for her. Hang on one second. I got to share this picture. And it's so shallow that they're literally walking with the scuba gear and just showing their face in the water. You can't make it up. Here's the picture right here. Okay. And we all know that Willow, sorry guys, you can go back in my videos and see that Willow loves the ball. Willow always had the ball with her on every single picture. Also remember that Nicola had 2 Facebook pages. She had a personal Facebook page and she had one that she was personal and the business. Now the weird thing is every single selfie of her and the picture with her dog with the ball and almost every picture up until December. And Emma said that she never brought the ball anymore because it caused a too much distraction. I call BS on that too. I think Willow had the ball. I think the problem is the ball was not with Willow because the person that took Willow forgot to put the ball back. Hang on one second. So those of you that don't know Willow, this is Willow, a dog that she was absolutely head over heels for, that loves the water. And they'll tell you that Willow hated the water. Well, on her personal Facebook page, I can show you pictures of her in the water at like 8 different times of the year. With what, Kaz? Her ball.
Yeah, she's always got a ball with her.
It could have sassafras, but that's not the point. The point that we can't wrap our head around is she literally, from the last person seeing her alive on the bench, from the time that she fell in and her Fitbit stopped, it's 13 minutes. Paul was there 27 minutes later. The police were there. Penny was there. The dog walkers were there. The school knows she was missing. Nobody saw her floating down the river. The part of them not finding her is the part that makes absolutely zero sense. In a river, at the part she fell in, and is only a foot deep. It doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. And why Willow was not down by her. I mean, this is a dog that loves the water and loves her mother. I don't think Willow would have been running back and forth from the bench to the fence. Why was she doing that? Because obviously she didn't know where, in my opinion, where her mother was. I think she would have been down by her mother like, hey, Mom, what the hell are you doing? Barking, making a little bit of a fuss, something. Do you guys get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. I mean, there are too many questions about why, but you can put scenarios in why they didn't find her. But until maybe,
It's over.
I don't know. When,
it's over. There's no until nothing, unless her sister and her family does something. There's there's no marks off the bench. So you're telling me that she slipped and she fell and she hit her head and she landed in the wire, but there wasn't one mark to where it looked like she fell.
No,
because I'm telling you, it didn't happen there. Somebody did what they did, and they threw her and rolled her over that wall. I could see this clear as day, like I could see Brian Koberger sitting in the backyard. It's weird, but it's sad. They're going to go ahead and put an end like this, but I don't know. It doesn't add up to me, the part that they didn't find her for so long. And she was right there.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not looking in 75 feet of water. We don't need the Titan submersible to go down into the wire and find her. You had drones There was horses, police. You had Peter Falding there, underwater sonar. I mean, you name it, it was there within an hour looking for this woman, and she was found 2 weeks later, a mile down the wire, up in the reeds, not under the reeds, not caught in the reeds, up in the reeds. Let's have one more refresher, and we're gonna right there. I don't know if Jennifer saw this picture of the kid pointing up in the reeds. Fiona came out. See, I get so aggravated with this story because it's just, I just feel like something is not there. He's got the same eyes as Chris Watts, this one.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
Yeah. Okay. Let's have one last look. Hey, little girl. Hi. When I get Fiona a kiddie pool and she goes for her first little swim, I'm definitely going to videotape it.
Oh, that's okay. So cute.
Yeah, she's. I know she's gonna love. I'm gonna get her a little pink tutu. Okay.
Oh.
So here's the cop. This is the psychic that was mad, even though he ended up finding her. After he found her, he was mad because her family did not come to him and ask him for his psychic tarot card services in finding a Nicola. But you see where he's pointing? So she just jumped up into the bushes. And remember, it's winter and you couldn't even walk through that bush with your coat and your pants on. You would get stuck. You would have scratches all over you. You couldn't get through there. But and look at this stick right here. But she floated. She floated and she didn't lodge underneath the reeds. She's literally up in the reeds somewhere. Make that make sense. And that's all I've got to say. Nicola, rest in peace, and may her daughters, it's horrible. And I don't like you, Paul. You're a shady character in my book. But we're going to watch his finances, right, Kaz?
Oh, absolutely. It'd be interesting to see what he does when and if he lodges his accounts.
Absolutely. Yeah, we got an email, and it's in one of my videos, from a woman that actually lived next door to that News
Yes.
Lane. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she actually knew Nicola's mother. And I guess it ended up being a house. But even she said in the email that she does not believe that she fell into that river and passed away.
Yeah. And a big shout out to Dabster, for all the emails that you sent regarding Nicola. Thank you very much.
Yes.
And thanks to everybody who sends emails to us. We do greatly appreciate the input.
We are going to be on a schedule. Hopefully this is the start of the schedule tonight, because next Wednesday we do plan on being here. T-Mobile willing. I'm almost out of the reeds, guys. I have literally, I'm going to say within 12 more days of this torturous suffering. And it should be good to go. 12 more days. Woo! I think it's going to be over. I finally got my cell phone bill down from $700 to $300. Hey, gorgeous.
Hello.
I love your hair long. I am so glad she grew it out. But yeah, so hopefully next Wednesday, guys. And yes, I have started the t-shirt, the raffle we're still going to do with the members. I've been working behind the scenes and doing everything. It's just actually keeping a schedule and getting the schedule going. But hopefully this is the start of it. But then, of course, I'll be moving soon into, out of the RV, God willing. But definitely things are changing around, guys. Yep. Yep. Things are looking up. Like I said, 12 more days of hell and it should be over. So,
Good.
yeah, right. My biggest thing was I thought I was going to lose my belongings in my storage. Like that was just like, oh gosh, but that's up to date. Like it's like $40 behind, but it's no longer 3 months behind. And my cell phone is no longer a
Awesome.
$708. And I show Kaz everything I talk about. Like there's no making this shit up. My electric bill, the problem why what got me behind so much this winter was because of the fact that the RV does not have power to the RV. It has power, but I'm running extension cords. The bill here was running how much, Kaz? Tell them how much the electric bill was here monthly in the winter.
900.
Yeah, 800, 900,
900.
960, 924.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
So it was,
I've got a three bedroom home, and my electricity bill is around the 200 for 3 months. That's crazy.
yeah, Jess, I hear you. No, you know what, Shredder? I want you to go get that little rat fixed. I want you to put a diaper on that rat. Okay. I am going to send, I bet you a Barbie doll underwear will fit a rat's butt. But yeah, like you guys see, the StreamYards is down, so everything will be back up. But like I said, I've got to I mean, I'm telling you guys, I can make rice dinners in any style. All right.
Oh, wrong way. I've got to learn to twirl out, not in. Otherwise, it goes funny. See, it sticks out. Look.
And that
Twang.
Carly story, man, that girl, she's out to lunch. That whole entire thing about seeing that baby on the side of the road and
Oh,
some man I mean, she went from the back of a semi truck into a car, into having her nails or her hair played with, and the woman fed her Cheez Its. Meanwhile, she's at the gas station buying Cheez Its. I mean, you, you can't make it up, guys. Anyways,
yeah.
no, we're wrapping it up, guys. We got an hour and a half going on here. I'm going to have to go oil Kaz.
Yes. 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 From here up, I might look all right, but from here down, I'm not.
I still love the story that Kaz tells us when the doctor's office caught on fire and she's running out with going back to get the purse, riding over the water hose for the firemen, wanting you to go across the street, and you're like, hell to the no, no. She's like, I'm hopping in my car.
Yeah, sure.
Hang on, guys. Let me go get the ferret. Hang on.
I've already told that story, Jess. No, Shredder, we haven't spoke about the cheese, folks. Oh, that's bad. That's really bad. I mean, guys, if you need a break from your family or something,
I'll show you guys the baby next Wednesday. I'm gonna probably do my hair cam up, maybe look like a normal
Lola, thank you, darling. We appreciate every single one of you guys.
All right, well, that's it, guys. Everyone, thank you for coming in, and stay vigilant because this world's getting scarier and scarier and scarier.
Yeah, we'll talk about Chelsea next time, Shredder.
Chelsea. Oh, also, someone's best friend reached. Oh, Rio Boyd's best friend reached out. The girl that went missing. What state was that? Shit.
Don't ask an old bird like me.
The one who her phone was found, and then the uncle and the father found guy found the phone. Yeah. Well, her best friend called us.
She did.
Yeah, Fiona's here. She's I showed her last Wednesday on the camera. Come here, little girl. She likes to play this game where I hold like a blanket or a towel or whatever, and she's like a little bowl. So she'll start running down the hallway, and I'll pick it up, and she jumps like 3 feet in the air and
Launches.
tries to grab onto the blanket, but now she's starting to hiss. So she's like, shh, 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 shh. Yep, she's hissing, and she goes, here, 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 here. Come here, little. I'll show you. Come
Yeah.
here.
And we'll
Hang
know
on, let me
more
show
next
you.
week. Shredder too about Carly Russell.
Hang on, guys. Let me show you Fiona real fast. Let me take off my headphone. Come here, little girl. They want to see you. Get your little ass over here. Come here. Hang on. Stop being
Hang on.
so
Hang on. I'll get the boy. Hang on a minute.
I look like crap, but whatever.
We want the boy.
Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. She likes to make out with her mother.
Say bye-bye, everybody.
Oh, there's my
I
little
got my
stinky
jersey
butt.
on.
I love him.
Say hi
Hey, little
and bye.
stinky butt. Oscar. Hey, little boy. I love him. Stinky butt.
Dad? Hey.
Yeah, Fiona can be here. She just turned a year old 4 days ago. No, yeah, 4 days ago. A year old already. That's Oscar, Lila.
I don't like.
Oscar and Fiona. You know what? Where's my cat? I got to go find my cat. My cat's missing.
Yeah, Jennifer, that's his Wales rugby jersey.
Rugby jersey.
Oh,
he's
it's
throwing
Ross.
it.
Good day,
The
Ross.
Wallabies.
You better tell
Oh,
Ross
yeah,
to back
Ross
up.
is here too.
You're getting ready to dox him.
Oh, yeah.
Back
Why
up,
am I
boy.
doxing him?
He's going to be on
Back up,
camera in a
boy.
second.
He was a second ago. He picked Oscar up.
Is that a cigarette in your hand?
Stick your head in.
Oh, he already
Hi.
showed his face on cam. Hey, look at how cute he is. Good day, Ross. Good day. Hello, Ross.
G'day.
Good day. They are the best couple. Look at these two. I love them. Everyone, guys, stay vigilant. Keep your baby safe.
Oh,
Kaz, thank you. She said, "Go away." What's your final words, Kaz? We're wrapping it up. See you next Wednesday.
What's my final word? Be good. Stay safe. Please keep your babies close to you. Love them, kiss them, hug them. Shredder, you call my husband a cutie pie. He's no cutie pie.
He is too.
Not after 30 years. He's not.
He is too. All right, guys, stay vigilant. So what we'll do is on Wednesdays, instead of following one story, we'll just catch up on everything that's going on in the week on the things that are like happening. Unless something big happens. And I'm sure soon the next one will be coming.
Yeah, and for Shredder, we'll definitely cover. Oh, crikey, I've forgotten the name. We'll go. Karen's having a massive brain freeze.
Charlene, or would you say? I forget what you said earlier too. My excuse is I smoked a little marijuana.
Carly Russell, it's all right.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, well, my excuse, I haven't.
Oh, yes. We're going to talk about Rex.
Carly Russell.
What I want to do is I want to pull Rex's file. and find out the other property on Long Island that he owns. I wonder if I don't think there's only 11, and I don't think he stopped 10 years ago.
No, I don't think so either. All right, guys.
Yeah, we can
love
talk
to
about
all. If you
Rex.
haven't already, yeah. If you haven't already, can you hit the like button on your way out to get this algorithm going again? Because meaning we haven't been online for a while. We've kind of
3
lagged
months.
behind in the algorithm.
3 months we
So-
haven't been live except for the last 2 times.
If you could share the live, that'd be awesome too.
Oh
You
God,
do that,
Ross,
that'd
come
be
get
great.
your wife. Jesus, lady. Okay, are we
I've
good?
even got Ross onto this now. Good night, everybody. Love to
Good
all.
night,
And we'll see you
everyone.
next Wednesday.
All right, thank you guys.